Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that almost everyone around you has lost their sense of logic. They're not just acting eccentric, but truly disconnected from reason. You begin to wonder if you're the only one left who can still see reality clearly. This is not a dream. For many of us, this is daily life in a society trapped by illusions. Now ask yourself, if you're the one who refuses to go along with the madness, does that make you insane? Or the only sane person left in the world gone blind? That is a painful question I, Lancescurv, want to raise today. Our community has lived for centuries inside a society built on deception. Yet now, we see how entire nations, black, white, and everything in between, fall into hypnotic trances of blind obedience. This is why it is called mass psychosis. It is a frightening state when millions of people lose their ability to think critically, trading truth for false narratives. In times like these, being aware is no small matter. It's survival. Awareness gives us strength against propaganda, against illusions, and against systems designed to strip away our independence of thought. If we cannot think for ourselves, we are easily led into destruction. The message I bring is urgent. The madness of mass psychosis does not just float in the air. It lives in the way people consume media, obey trends, and silence truth tellers. If we, as a black community, do not break free from it, we will remain trapped in cycles of confusion and weakness. Human beings like to believe we are rational, but history shows otherwise. Entire empires collapsed, not from foreign attacks, but from lies, hysteria, and delusions from within. Science, history, and philosophy were available, but people refused to use them. Psychologists call this mass formation psychosis. It happens when people stop thinking independently and surrender to slogans, propaganda, and fear. This can be triggered by anxiety, social pressure, or the hunger to belong. For a people who have been oppressed for generations, this hunger for acceptance can be deadly. The truth is clear. When the mind is disconnected from purpose and identity, it becomes vulnerable. Instead of standing firm, individuals melt into the crowd. But the crowd is not always wise. It is often angry, irrational, and destructive. Fear is the most powerful fuel for mass psychosis. It's used to silence voices and control behavior. Throughout history, from religious crusades to wars to pandemics, fear has been the weapon of choice for those in power. Fear makes people obey, even when obedience destroys them. Our people know this too well. Fear was used to keep us enslaved. Fear was used to keep us segregated. Fear is still being used to keep us silent. When fear rules, questioning becomes dangerous. Curiosity is punished. Truth tellers are labeled as enemies. The most dangerous part of mass psychosis is not just the madness itself, but the silence it forces. Many people disagree with the lies, but they keep quiet, thinking they're alone. This silence is what makes the lies look like truth. Psychologists call this pluralistic ignorance. We must understand that silence is not neutral. Silence is complicity. The longer we remain silent about injustice, corruption, and betrayal, the stronger the lies grow. For the black community, this reality is especially harsh. We are constantly told what to think, what to support, and what causes to follow. Many repeat slogans they don't understand. Some join movements they've never researched. Too often, we attack one another for daring to question the so-called mainstream. This is not progress. This is mental and spiritual collapse. When we blindly obey, we lose our chance to build unity, clarity, and self-sufficiency. So how do we escape this madness? The first step is awareness. We must ask ourselves uncomfortable questions. Why do I believe in what I believe? Who benefits from me believing this? Am I thinking for myself or repeating someone else's script? These questions shine light in dark places. They weaken illusions. They make us strong enough to resist mass hypnosis. The second step is courage. Courage means standing on truth even when it's ridiculed. Courage means refusing to let fear control us. Courage means breaking the cycle of silence. The third step is anchoring ourselves in meaning, whether through spirituality, philosophy, or deep self-reflection. We must root ourselves in something unshakable. Without this, we drift with every new wave of propaganda. Mass psychosis cannot last forever. Lies always collapse under their contradictions. When the illusion cracks, people awaken, but awakening is painful. It means admitting that much of what we defended was false. It means grieving for years spent asleep. But awakening also brings freedom. It allows us to see the traps before we fall into them again. It reminds us that we, as a people, have the power to rise above hysteria and reclaim our sanity. The Black community must never forget, society benefits when we are confused, distracted, and divided. But the moment we begin to think clearly and see through illusions, their control weakens. This awakening begins with each of us. One awakened mind is powerful. Many awakened minds can change the course of history. We must live as proof that another way is possible. By standing on truth, even when we're alone, we inspire others to do the same. We are living in dangerous times where illusions are celebrated and truth is silenced. But we cannot afford to surrender to this madness. The path to freedom begins in the mind. If we reclaim our clarity, courage, and unity, we can rise above mass psychosis. I stand here to say, do not fear being different. Fear being blind. Do not fear rejection. Fear obedience to lies. Our future depends on those who are willing to think, question, and resist. That resistance begins with you. Truth is not always comfortable, but it is always liberating. Let us walk together in that light. Let me know what you think. Lancescurv here. Thanks for coming through. On to the next one. Peace.